of their
Yeah,
cake.
so I've been doing this like complete detox over the past 2 weeks, and every single day I open up my freezer and I just stare at all the leftover cake and cookies. And my like cutoff date, like Biden's inauguration, is when I'm going to be drinking again and eating all my sweets again. Um, so I'm gonna be wasted and like in a sugar coma the whole day.
As
Both of
you
us.
should. As
Both
you
of us.
should. But you know
Yeah.
what? Hey, I saw that there's going to be like a whole like virtual event like with a whole bunch of like artists and bands and stuff too. So it'll be like a concert
Everybody,
for all of us who have
everybody's
been like
showing.
we've been so starved for live entertainment. So
I know.
I'm so excited. So
That's
if
awesome.
nothing else, we have that.
You
I
should
might
see
have to
right
get rid
now.
of this.
Annie's literally sitting here, like
She wants this
scratching because
cake
she
so
wants
bad.
that so badly.
I'm
I
gonna have
had
to
to
do
I
that.
like ran to
I'll be
give
back.
Ernie some of his like Kong like squeezy stuff in his thing so that he would be chill. It's gonna last like 5 minutes and then he's gonna start whining again. But no trash valet today because it's Friday.
Oh, he gets Friday nights
Yeah, he
off.
gets Fridays and Saturdays off. Then he's
Very
fine.
nice.
Just had to give everybody a trash valet update because I know that that's a big thing.
It's
Oh my
huge. The trash valet is huge right now.
Yeah, I know. As always.
I'm surprised they didn't come out for your birthday though.
Right? Rude. It's like he doesn't even know me anymore.
What did Ernie get you for your birthday? Did he get you anything?
He got me a couple of nibbles and he tried to resuscitate me this morning because he thought I was dying or something. So like he kept like pouncing on my chest, like
Oh.
What do you mean?
but he
Why
has
were you?
because I was coughing like a sneeze, he thinks you're dying. So like
Oh.
he's a hardcore Velcro dog
He's
for
like
real.
serious about
He's a
COVID.
protective
He's
little
serious
alpha.
about COVID.
Yeah.
When he coughs or sneezes, he's like COVID.
Right? Yeah. So like I like anytime I'm like adjusting like the comforter like and I go to pull it up like this, he thinks that I'm like gonna suffocate myself. I don't know. So then he immediately like gets all bent out of shape. So
What a
yeah.
nice little guy.
He's not the best. He's not the best bedmate though. So he takes up all the whole bed and he's like this big. So I don't know.
I think that's like all the Annie does.
All the little dogs.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So what are you doing on Inauguration Day? Like, do you have plans or like,
Drinking
yes?
and celebrating in the streets once Trump is officially no longer the president.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, I love that, like, I got multiple texts from people today that, like, today's the last Friday, Trump's in office. Like, okay, we're at that point where it's like, oh, that's a thing now. I realized that we were celebrating Fridays as, like, a thing.
And you
Take
gotta
anything we can get right now.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, every day.
Celebrating.
I actually, like, today I randomly rewatched that, like, 2020 election like Avengers like mashup video you sent me.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the one?
Yeah.
I was like crying watching it, like here in the living room, like trying to wipe my tears away. I don't just there's something about the moment when Black Panther like emerges and it's like the Georgia, it says like Georgia and it goes from red to blue. I just
Yeah.
I was reliving all the highlights of the election.
Sarah literally watched that like 15 times.
But did you see that Chris Evans is going to come back as Captain America?
No, I didn't.
I was like, this is things are looking up.
I thought you were going to say he's going to go to the Capitol and beat the shit out of those terrorists that are
Show us that tweet or something. Some guy was like, oh no, Chris Evans said, didn't he say
Oh, he
something
was
about-
like he was nervous
He was like,
or devastated or something.
Yeah,
or he's speechless. He's speechless. Yeah, and the guy
was like, suit up or something.
Yeah.
you said that. That was amazing. Suit up, bro.
So I remember the memes when Obama left last time and they had like that picture. It was a picture of the Obamas getting on the helicopter for the last time, and somebody had photoshopped Captain America there like holding the helicopter down, like please don't go.
You need to send that to me.
realize Captain America. I didn't realize Chris Evans wasn't going to do it. Is that,
Oh yeah,
that's a
no, yeah, he was supposed after the end game. That was his last.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'm like, thank God, because
Do you want to know like how excited I am for this inauguration and like every tonight? I had on like this like throwback jams playlist on Apple playing while I like did all this. And Party in the USA, you know, the Miley Cyrus song.
Oh God.
Sarah's like, that's the #1 jam for the.
No. I actually had this alternate thing. I was like, oh, this would be a nice inauguration song. And then I was like, wait, I need someone to make a montage video of this song with like the MAGA terrorists being arrested. Like the lyrics are perfect. It's like I put my hands up, playing this song. And
My dad was calling me.
Please make this. I don't
even know.
I don't even know how to use Instagram Live.
My dad was calling.
But that's where I'm at. Like instead of like, you know, like when you're in love and like every song sounds like a love song about the person you're like into. Like this, I'm like, how does this song apply to people like these like terrorists and like losers being arrested? And like how can
I need to send you the post that Lance Bass from NSYNC made where he took like a bunch of their mugshots and made it like, you remember like the throwback poster that they had where it was NSYNC and it had each one of like their headshots. And so he took a bunch of their like mugshots and then he put insurgents. So then he had like a whole track list of like songs that were like originally NSYNC songs that he like turned into like a whole like insurgent pun, but it was really funny. I was like, oh my God, you're good for something.
Please.
That's fine.
He came up with that, or like, did he have help?
He probably had
wonder,
help.
like,
He probably
I
had
always
help.
wonder how people.
Lance
come up
Bass
with
is
that
a
stuff.
genius.
I
Don't
don't know.
question
He might be a genius. I wonder.
He's got good people.
Yeah, he's got good people. We need good people.
Hi, Ernie.
Come up with stuff like that.
No, I'm not. We're not creative
Speaking
like
of taking up a lot of room, you should see how much room Sarah has on this couch
that.
compared to me. It's like
I'm a man spreader.
she's like spread out.
God.
I like to sit with my legs like crossed, like comfy. What, now you're like spreading into my space.
Yeah, I gotta
Josh
get,
also hates
I gotta
this
take
couch.
my zone.
He hates this couch so much because it's
Where
like
are you guys?
we're in the living room that we've never once used ever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't recognize anything.
Literally, I've been working in here this week, and this is like the first time I've been in this
I'm
room.
not really comfortable.
But Josh hates this. It's like leather, this couch, and Josh like slides off of it. Like
I'm like literally.
he
like,
somehow
sliding.
goes like boneless and just like slides down to the floor.
Well, you need to break the couch in.
I need to either break it in or have like some sort of like rubber on
I
my
told
hand.
him
Rub his hand.
Like,
Yeah, like you know those like rug pads that you put on. That's what he needs. I told him last night.
my pants are like too slippery, but like
I know I'm wearing like leggings
where
right
we
now though.
normally sit, I kind of find it uncomfortable too. So like,
There's not one place in this house
we don't
that's
have a
comfortable for him.
comfortable place.
Jesus. That's sad.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
sad.
incredibly sad.
My life is tough. Yeah. So
Well, and Sarah, I totally thought, so I love your shirt because I looked closer at it.
Oh,
But
it looks like a uterus, right?
yes, I totally thought that. I was
Okay.
like, oh, girl power, yay.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. So
Is it
it's
uterus?
snakes and like they make this uterus shape, but then I love that like the X's are like
Like
right on my
breasts.
nipples too. And it's from this like boutique in Philly called Moon and Arrow, and this was made by like an indigenous like
Oh.
artist. The print, they're like gorgeous. It's like the comfiest
No,
sweatshirt. But
that's
yeah, I mean
really
tonight
cute.
I actually looked at it and I was like, hey, that's a uterus, and it's fitting because I like got my period today. So
oh, well, perfect.
oh,
yeah.
So did I.
Our cycles are synced.
What about you, Josh? What about you?
I'm a little moody today.
He's got his menses right now.
Feeling a little down.
I think you do get like sympathetic, like sympathy, like
You
symptoms.
think I do?
Yeah, you have your menses. Like a couple days a month, he gets a little like. I don't like to use the word bitchy, but like he gets a
A little bitchy.
little
A little
bitchy.
bitchy.
Yeah, you have
A
your.
couple days.
Yeah, just a couple days.
My 2 days and her
And then, like,
eight or 9.
And you're like clumsy. Do you drop things like right before your like? I know my period's coming because I'm like suddenly dropping stuff.
No, I think as I'm getting older, my whole like everything, like all of my symptoms have changed. So like I used to get lower back pain, now I get upper back pain. I don't know. I don't know.
It migrated.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not where those parts are.
Wait, I love that you're
No,
wait. Have we not commented that she's like holding like Ernie like a newborn? Like,
Listen, he's a Velcro dog.
What happens to your period? It kind of works its way like up
Yeah,
and
it's like
and out.
totally,
Yeah,
yeah.
menopause
That's exactly
is just like
it.
the migration out.
Right.
That's why you have the
That's why
hot
you get hot
flashes.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's science.
It's science.
That's Mike Pence's science right there. That's what happened to Mother.
Oh, mother. Oh, God.
Anyway, I feel like I have like things that I'm like supposed to mention in
Yeah,
this chat. Let's get into the nitty. Yeah, we dropped the laptop on Annie by accident. She's fine. She's literally she recovered. Let's see. What do I need to say? Oh, okay. Well, we've got like a month left until A Court of Silver Flames comes out. Joy just got a text from Josh's mom who said she wants to come on the live like Howard Stern's mother.
She should.
She'll be like, Josh, why didn't you shave?
Josh, your face looks terrible. What happened to you?
No, we should have her moderating the comments.
We should. We can't put her on because we don't know how to.
Well, you can only have 2 at a time. You can only have
no three
ways. Oh, don't bring it up, Sarah. Now the comment section.
Okay, here.
We heard there were about 2,000 three-way comments. Questions about the.
Okay, finished copy. We've got a month, like less than that's mine. Don't drink mine.
Is that like a matte? Is it a matte finish?
So it's like the backgrounds.
Check it out.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So the background's like a matte gray, and then it's got like a foil for the mask. His mom's like trolling us on text. She said Taryn had his period today. Okay. But look, so it's a pretty.
It's thick.
Yeah, so no Bible pages.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, so we actually, like weird factoid, we have the UK pages because of COVID.
British pages.
Yeah, they're British.
Very fancy.
Very fancy, very posh. But because of COVID, the US printer couldn't like get the books printed fast enough. Like that's why we had to move the book back by a week. But the UK printer came through, so we have like British paper sizes, which are like slightly different. But yeah, so no Bible pages. And let's see, I think there was a question from someone about how long this book is. Yeah, like I just realized I could like flash you guys the last page by accident. So this baby is 757 pages.
That's like the acknowledgement.
But that's like with like 3 pages of acknowledgements. But the inside has these these gorgeous like end papers, and then the like book itself is like,
I love that it's orange.
Beautiful orange. I know. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's very sexy. And then like the interior pages are like gorgeous.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, so we've got less than a month till that, and we've got my US tour coming, and Eva Chen is going to be moderating my US event, and I'm very excited, partially because she's awesome, but also because she has interviewed Obama, and I plan to spend the whole time like asking her like
exactly
what that was like.
Well, my friend's husband is in Obama's Secret Service detail, so I feel like by proxy I am also part of it.
Obama.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't say it because obviously we're live with thousands of people. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Some fun
I know
facts.
there are thousands.
Yeah.
Now you just fucked me up.
Now Josh is scared. You're gonna go into a deer in headlights mode. Okay, wait. Is there anything else that I need? Oh, and then one thing I'm also supposed to say is Crescent City Paperback is out March 2nd. So
check it out.
great. I'm working on edits for Crescent City 2 right now, actually, and it's really fun. Yeah, you'll be pleased to know that there's lots of Therian in this in this book. A little
and then
too
we
much.
get to find out the anatomy of mermaid sex.
Yeah. Josh asked me today, and then like mimicked the movements of how he thought that Therian would like fuck someone, I guess.
Did I do that?
Yeah, you were like
last
night.
Josh
You were like,
Josh
was
I
like,
don't
where?
even know.
Josh was like, "Where's Therian's penis? Like, what does it?" He went like this to me. I was sitting on the toilet, and he like came up to me, and he was like, "Does it go like this?" And I was like, "Yes, that's what happens. Like a thing opens, and it, like,
what's so bad about that
thing
question?
pops out." No, I mean it was a fine question. I just like you came in and like you had to demonstrate. There was like a physical demonstration.
Well,
I had a
like a random moment of the day that he's like
no, it was like I was brushing my teeth right before bed,
and you were like,
I was putting on my lavender oil. I was sitting on the toilet, putting on my lavender oil, and
I thought of the question.
And then like he of course like had to demonstrate like with his like pelvis like at my eye level because I was sitting down.
So now I hope you think of that every time you write anything sexy with Feyre.
No, I mean like it's ruined it forever. I'm just gonna see him kind of like flopping and humping his way across the bathroom.
Now everybody's gonna see that too.
Yeah, and I feel bad for them. I feel
well,
terrible.
you know what though, Josh? In all of these lives, they only see you from like the waist up, so it's gonna, they don't know that you're not a mermaid over there.
A
merman.
That's why I slide off the couch. That's why I slide off the
This has got a big fin. Tail.
Jesus.
Oh God, I do hate this couch. But anyway.
Did you cover all of your points, Sarah, before I asked you other questions? Okay.
I think we got it. We got everything. I said, I wanted to like.
What other is that?
No, I mean we've got some great questions from like awesome people, but I think I said everything I am contractually obligated.
Well, I'd also like I guess in the same thread, somebody had asked, is there a Target edition of ACOSF?
Yes.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
I said that's enough penis talk. Linda. Thanks.
There's never enough penis.
Like, Linda, have you never watched one of our lives before?
I think she missed the last one where we told the story of how her husband did the role and farted. And...
I already told Sarah, let's not bring up farting.
Oh yeah, Josh was like, Josh said to me before, like literally right before.
I don't want to be like known as the fart. That was like a one-off, Like...
Okay, no farts, no penises. All right. Okay. So Target edition. So there's the Target edition and the Books A Million edition
but both the Books A Million is the chapter or Indigo.
Is that
the same?
Yeah. So and that's got the
Azriel
scene, and then the Target scene is Rhys and Feyre.
So that's the Waterstones, because the Waterstones has the Rhys and Feyre.
You know more about this.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I only know because Lou tells me, and
Laura,
then I'm like, which editions do I want?
Laura, if you're listening, text us. text us, and we'll clarify. Laura and Noah are probably. Sorry, guys. I'm like this even without alcohol. Like that's the sad thing.
I know.
There's a little alcohol in kombucha.
Is there? How much is in this?
Like a 0.5% or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Ferment. Ernie is so hot that he's making my glasses fog up. It's actually ridiculous. So,
someone said Barnes and Noble is Feyre, Books A Million. I love that you guys know this better than I do. Then what's the Target edition? Is there a Target edition?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't
think
I
so.
don't remember there being one.
Sorry,
'Cause
guys.
there were ones for previous books, but I don't recall there being an announcement about Target.
Yeah, I don't think there is one, and I'm like deeply embarrassed that I didn't know that.
Ava, I turned my Ava
Court of Maas
texted
said
me.
no Target.
Okay,
thanks,
thank
Court of
you.
Maas.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Lou's the one that tells me which editions to buy, so I don't know anything.
Okay, and so there are all those editions, and then there's like the fancy tour edition, which you can't get anymore. So I guess if you guys do want to go to my like virtual tour events, there are still tickets.
See,
and
that was on the I just
and
said
you'll
that.
I know. Okay,
You
so then
forgot that part.
you say
No,
the rest of
there's
it.
still tickets available.
Okay.
Go to where do you go?
World of
World of
Sarah.
Josh, you are the worst
You
manager
go to
ever.
text one. What did Biden
Well, yeah,
say? What did
Remember Biden
say
at like
during
the primaries, like the first debate, he was like
Oh,
to donate to my campaign,
Text
www.joe33 hashtag Biden 2020.
I thought that was the end.
Yeah,
for him.
we
I
had
was
we
like,
had already donated. We had already donated so much money to his campaign, and then like he came on and said that, and Josh and I were like,
we
might have made a huge.
I wanted him to win so bad at that point, and then he said that. I was like, "There's no way he's gonna win after that."
But then he rallied, and then like he started talking about like his stutter and stuff, and then I was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense," and like I like appreciate that like he gets up there and
so
does
now
that.
whenever he like mumbles a little bit when he's talking, I just let it go because I'm like, oh, his stutter though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I think it's
amazing.
amazing. I think it is
Yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
amazing. I love
Yes.
it. I love him. And the dogs, I'm so excited to have dogs in the White House again.
rescue dog.
Champ and
Rescue
Major.
dog.
Rescue dogs.
Rescue dog. Okay, that's like my only complaint about the Obama administration. That like the Obamas like didn't rescue like the dog. Like we're big fans of rescuing doggies, and I wish they had. But now there is one. Now there is one, and I'm so happy.
Sorry.
Are you happy about this?
No, I was thinking. Have you seen the guy who?
Oh God.
What? You know what I'm about to say?
No, I my mind is going in 1,000 different.
No, the guy that like got like the police officer at the Capitol last week who got like surrounded.
Oh, did you see the interview on CNN with the guy with like the neck tattoo?
Did you find that guy cool?
I was kind of sexually attracted. Right?
He said something though that was really funny, and I can't remember.
This was the best line. He was like, they were like, "What do you want to say to the people that did help you?" He was like, "Thank you, but also fuck you for being there."
Yes,
This is the man of my dreams.
that guy's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that he was like, I was going to shoot them, but then I didn't shoot them.
I know.
And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, just shoot them. I mean,
yeah, but that's cool that he like thought
that he thought
like,
about right, and he was like literally in danger. He got like tased. And, like,
I know, like tased like 10 times. That
guy's cool shit. I said Sarah's got to like do a character after.
Josh was like, "Do you think that guy like reminds you of Reese?" And I was like,
"No, he's like older than Reese."
I know, but he was like that. That's like the kind of Reese energy. I was like,
okay.
I was like, they both have tattoos. That's all.
What do they call that? What do they call that?
Big dick energy.
Big BDE.
Josh just discovered that like phrase recently, and that's like all he's gone around the house saying. Like, you know when toddlers learn a new phrase and they say it, like all he does is just walk around like big dick energy.
That's why he brought up the Feyre and Dick situation, because he was genuinely
all I think about.
Topic.
I think about toddlers shitting and a big dick energy.
That's a big energy. That's a sad life. I'm so sorry.
My whole life is changing diapers.
It is. Or taking out the trash and cleaning up poop.
Mm-hmm.
How's potty training going?
Good. He took like a poop in the big the big toilet.
Ooh,
and he was very pleased with himself.
Oh.
Yeah, big guy.
He came out and said, "I pooped." He's always so pleased. Like he's now
As he should be.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it was like a good one. It was a good size
nice.
one. Sometimes I'm like, how does that fit in your like the
Little
distance
baby
of
butt.
it?
Yeah.
Like sometimes like he'll poop out like a round ball. I don't understand. Like
how did it come
like
out?
the size of a softball, and I don't understand.
Taryn's
like-
gonna watch this one day and be like,
Play it
"What-
at his wedding.
What were you doing?" Actually, I actually had a friend. I don't know if I should. I'm not.
Oh,
I'm obviously
God.
not. I'm not gonna say what friend, but he'll probably know.
If he's watching, he'll know.
He sent me. What are your thoughts on this? He sent a picture of his
Of his poop?
child, like newborn,
Oh.
basically,
Uh-huh.
and like covered the newborn's penis. If the
Oh.
newborn was in the bath and covered the
Is it
penis.
like a newborn? Like,
Yeah, like it was like a week old. I feel
I
like
mean,
that.
was it a text picture or like?
It was just like amongst like three of them on like a chain. It was like
Maybe
friends.
he's worried about like the cloud being hacked or something. And
I know, but like a week
I mean,
old.
it's weird.
Even
I didn't have
even
as
if
big of
I-
an issue with
Even
this.
if I saw myself when I was a baby and I was like, "Oh, my penis is hanging," it's like I was 7 days old.
You know
Here
what?
we go. It all comes
Okay.
back.
All right, we just got a bunch of texts from your mother
My
saying
mom
enough with
wants
the
us to
penis
move
talk.
on.
She wanted
Maybe
to
we
talk
should
about
go
the
on to
book.
questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a question you want to lead with, Steph? Or
Yes. Speaking of penis, no, I'm just kidding. So this seems to be all the rage right now. There were a lot of questions that came in about this, and it was from, what's her name? I think her name was Tosh Pins, but it was, who's your favorite character from the Autumn Court, and why is it Eris?
Okay, so we had that little like snippet release this week from the audiobook where Eris made like a cameo appearance, and I guess I will confirm and deny that that he is in the book, and he's in this book because he is my favorite Autumn Court character, and
Ooh.
that's all I'll say about him. But he's like a character, I love those like characters that are like bad, but they've got like a secret history and like secret motivations going on. And he's just like, he's such a giant asshole at times that it's just really fun. Like, it's fun to write about people like being mean to like the gang, like, like people who don't see like, Reese and Feyre and Cassian and Nesta as like, the saviors and like the cool,
Right.
like Eris, like, chops them down
Unbothered.
Yes.
I love Ernie. I love you, but oh my god.
Is he like begging you to do that?
Yeah, like he's getting comfortable. Like he's digging in. He's about to
But is that
look.
partially you? Is that 50% you asking him to do that? 50%?
No, he was whining at my feet, and I thought that he just wanted to sniff, and then he would go away. But like clearly, let me see if I put him down. He'll stop. I love you. Bye.
How much
I'm
does he
sorry.
weigh?
12 pounds.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty light. Yeah.
Now he's laying at my feet, giving me puppy eyes. I'm not gonna look at him.
Okay.
There was a good question that all of us can answer, and it was from Laura Burke, and it was 10 years ago, where did you picture your life would be now? So like 10 years ago, where did you see yourself? Or like what were your goals, aspirations?
That would have been 2010
Mm-hmm.
if I did the math.
2011.
2011.
Oh yeah, it is.
Math major.
Right,
in
I know.
college.
I didn't realize it was 2021. I thought it was 2020 still. I've only written it on like 2 things that it's 2021.
That's enough. That you should know it by now.
So, wait, why am I answering this first?
It's for all of us. You have to
I
go.
know.
All of us.
We want to hear you.
Yeah, you go.
I don't have a good answer.
All right, I'll
Did you
go.
want to be a
You-
dad?
No, you go, Steph. You go.
My main goal, because in 2010 or 2011, I think I was still teaching. So my goal was to not be teaching in like school anymore just because it was terrible, and I wanted to find a job in publishing. So sort of there.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
That's it.
and
That's all. I mean, I didn't want a spouse or children. I wanted a dog, and I have a dog. So
yes, and a
That's
beautiful
It
beautiful
took me
home.
10 years to
Yeah.
get, you wanted a dog?
well, I didn't want a dog right at that time because I was still trying to like I was still traveling, and I didn't want to.
It is
Yeah.
a pain. Yeah, it's
I
hard to
wanted
travel.
a dog when I could telework.
Okay.
So
When COVID's over and like we all resume life again, like God willing, hopefully in the near future, will you be bringing Ernie with you when you travel, like abroad and stuff? Like,
abroad, no.
no, he doesn't get to go to Europe.
He'll go like I think
He
that
doesn't get the
They'll
grand.
like-
He doesn't
they'll
get the
like-
grand
they'll like
tour
him
of the
there, though.
continent.
No, I think he would be he would be too needy on the airplane. I mean, y'all saw that I was just holding the baby for 20 solid minutes and dying from his heat.
Sarah took Annie on an airplane one time, and she had like.
I had to feed
a
her like
nervous breakdown.
I had to feed her like 3 croissants. She barked at some guy in the airport. Like it was a nightmare. And then like she doesn't like walking on tile, and
The whole airport.
the
was
whole
fine.
airport was tile. So
she was
I
slipping
had
and
to
sliding.
I had to carry her. I had like my suitcase, my purse, and then I had to carry her, and she's like 25 pounds. And like we were like the farthest gate down the airport, like down at the airport. I was
You
like
should
just
probably
put her on your
stroll- Why didn't you
carry-on.
bring like a stroller?
a dog stroller.
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
I will
Or
never.
put her in a carrier, like the carriers that have the wheels. Little dog
I
carrier.
don't think I was thinking. I thought that
would
she
have
would
been
be
smart. You wouldn't have done. You didn't want to do it, but it would have been smart. to
okay.
do it.
Okay, you're avoiding having to answer your question.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking of my answer.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
what about you,
answer.
Sarah?
Okay. Let's see. 10 years ago, Throne of Glass hadn't even come out yet.
What year was it? 2012?
12.
2011, and
What?
Oh.
Throne of Glass came out in 2012.
No, I know. We already went over that. It was 2011.
I wasn't sure if you remembered.
I
though.
remember.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not that
And let's
stupid.
see. I guess 10
I'm
years
pretty
ago,
stupid.
you're not stupid. You're smart. Let's see. I guess I was gearing up for Throne of Glass to come out, and had I sold the next 2 books in the series? I don't remember. When I sold Throne of Glass, it was just like the 1 book, and like for a very, very modest amount of money, and like there
we
was
went out to like one night.
Like debut.
yeah. I still carry in my wallet. I laminated the like deposit slip from like the
I actually
ATM when I
remember
first
exactly.
like put the money in.
That was in Brentwood, California,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
at a what was that bank?
First Republic
First Republic.
ATM.
It was like right in the heart of Brentwood.
I remember that moment. That was like the first moment I ever like got money from my writing.
I think that was the first time I ever used an ATM. I was like, oh, this is cool.
But yeah, so I guess at that point I was just like wondering if I would ever get the chance to publish more than just 1 book, and being like excited and nervous just to have that 1 book come out. And yeah, because like I had no guarantee that like the series would get picked up. And I actually had to revise Throne of Glass with my editor to make it like more self-contained, so that like she basically was like, we might not buy any other books from you, so you better give people a satisfying ending in this one.
Oh my god.
I don't work with this person anymore. She was awesome. I owe a lot.
I mean, I guess that's realistic. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
if you're
no.
a debut and
Yeah, I mean it was completely realistic. But like at the time, like everyone I knew was getting these like, you know, giant 3-book deals, and I was just, you know, like, here's my one book and my 1 shot, and I decided that, you know, I was gonna do everything I could to get the book out there and make it a success. And yeah, I guess like so that's where I kind of was 10 years ago.
It was 2011.
It was 2011, and yeah, that's we were. I don't remember where we were living. We were in California somewhere.
yeah, because you guys didn't move out here again until
Long Beach. I think we were living in Long Beach, California.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or maybe the desert.
I think we were in the desert. We're in, I don't know.
Yeah.
We lived a lot of places. That was a good question. I haven't it's like kind of like cool to look.
Think back.
Yeah.
It feels
And
like
see
it was
how much
not,
you've accomplished.
yeah, but also just
Or think
like,
about how little you have accomplished. In my
you
No, I'm just joking.
you fathered a beautiful little boy.
You did. Who pooped on the toilet?
Yeah, big boy.
I'm just joking.
Josh, you still don't have an answer for us?
No, I do.
No,
Actually, I was able
okay.
to think while you guys were talking.
So you weren't listening to a word we said.
No, I was. You said something about going to amusement parks or something.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what she said.
And then I was just starting out working in the liquor business. I realized.
Oh, that's right.
At that point.
Hmm.
And I think I was just, I don't know what I was hoping for at that point. I think I was just like hoping I would just like do well in that business. And
You did.
I did do well. And then like we realized Sarah needed help like with her business. There was so much going on. So now part
Has
of.
she accomplished much in the last 10 years?
She accomplished much. I helped
Yes.
in a very small way.
In a huge way.
Small
And
way.
I help with certain things that she doesn't want to deal with.
Yeah.
So-
Taryn's diapers.
Well, that's part of it. I do help with a lot. Sarah does change plenty of Taryn's diapers.
But you changed the majority of them.
I probably changed
Mama's gotta
75%.
Yeah.
Mommy's got to work. And then, so I think probably if I think about it, I wanted to, like, I think I wanted Sarah mostly to, like, I felt like I felt like there was a good chance that Sarah was going to do well, and I was hoping that would happen back in 2011. So,
Oh.
yeah. So I think that's what I was thinking. And then I was like, you know what, if I do well in the liquor business, that'll be like the cherry on top. And I did do well, but
I needed you more
Sarah needed me.
than the world needed
And
booze.
Taryn needed me. Yeah.
And now you drink the liquor
I
while
drink it, and I learned
working.
I learned a lot about wine in that business.
Mhm.
And,
yeah, I know.
So that's it.
That's the only reason why I called you a wine snob like a couple of lives ago, because you were very well versed in
I'm a snob.
the wines.
No.
Don't bring that shitty wine around me.
Have you seen that? Do you watch The Office? Are you a fan of The Office? You know that moment when like Michael and Jan have like everyone over for a dinner party, and like Pam gives Jan like a bottle of wine, and Jan is like, "Oh, that's so nice. I'll use it for cooking."
Yeah.
That's literally.
And Josh would say it to your face too.
You're like, "Oh, what a
That's
great
nice.
cooking
This will help
wine."
me clean the toilets. Okay.
I was just looking. I just got lost in the comments. People want more book questions, so maybe
I'm coming with the book
maybe
questions.
we should do 2-3 book questions, and then.
You guys don't be so rude, or I'm gonna not ask any book questions. So
No, I'm not.
no, it's not
I'm
you. No,
I
it's
just
not
took,
you.
like, 10
I was,
minutes.
I
you're
was
saying
talking to the
that.
person I just saw in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You saw it too?
yeah, I did just now. That's why I just shouted at that person. But this is a question that Stephanie wants to know as well. How much Asriel content can we expect in ACOSF?
A good amount. Yeah, it's so hard to talk about this book without spoiling things, but he is in the book more than Eris. I think.
Okay. Okay. Well,
he's.
I mean, it makes
like
sense.
he's like
they're best friends.
yeah, and like Cassian and Az, like they have a close bond, and Az has a lot of his own like shit going on that you'll like maybe get some hints of, and yeah, I'm like kind of obsessed with him. Like weirdly enough, I have no idea why, but the song that came on that like throwback playlist, you know, Mr. Brightside, the song by the Killers. I always think of Asriel when I hear that song, and I don't know
Were
why.
you writing something when you were
No, but like every time I hear that song, like I think of him for some reason.
You saw them in
Now
concert.
we're all gonna like listen to it on repeat
Don't
and like analyze.
Don't no, there's like nothing like in common with the
know, I
lyrics.
know.
It's like some like I don't know, like the
Like the
vibe.
theme, the tone, the
I don't know. There's something about it that I just like, and that's not like his theme song. Don't like let's not go there. It's just like a random thing that literally happened to me today.
We did. I was just about to say we saw them in concert
oh
Yeah,
it's
but the
so
song
good
I've
live.
associated him with the song
for a long time.
before we saw the Killers. Yes, that was one of the best concerts we ever saw.
That was a pretty awesome concert.
Yeah.
So how like do you? Because I know that there was a teaser that came out with Asriel, like it was Asriel talking, and I want to say I'm assuming he was talking to Cassian and Nesta, where he's like, do I need to come up there or something like that? I'm
And be
assuming
a
that like
chaperone.
yeah, like I'm assuming is Nesta and like Nesta and Asriel, like do they have an antagonistic like brother sister vibe, like friendship relationship?
I can't
Did
tell
you
if it's
memorize
I
that?
I can't
Did
tell.
you memorize that whole
The
portion of the book?
the quote the teaser.
It sounds like
Listen,
you like
I'm
really
obsessed. I
analyzed
love
that
Asriel. Okay.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of a way to talk about it without spoiling things, because
Do they have
like
a journey? Like they have their own.
kind of like
Okay.
I wouldn't say that he and Nesta have like a massive like arc, but I think that over the course of the book they start to like recognize a lot of like similar things, and like Nesta sees through some of Az's secrets. He like I think like he treats her like a relatively normal person, and that's like a rarity in her life. So like she and Az have like I wouldn't say it's like brother sister in the way that like Cassian and Feyre have kind of like a brother sister vibe, but there's just like a mutual respect and like understanding. But then they also like both really do enjoy like teasing Cassian. And I mean like as has like a like really like dry, sneaky sense of humor. That like came out a lot more than I expected in this book, actually. Yeah, and yeah, there's so much I want to say about him.
I know
that like
we'll take after the book. after we read it.
I want to hear all your theories after you read the book and his like bonus scene. Yeah, there's
I am most
the crumbs have all been like scattered, little breadcrumbs everywhere.
Oof. Okay. I'm just so excited. I love him so much. Okay. Which do you find is steamier? Would you find Silver Flames or House of Earth and Blood steamier? I mean,
like the original. I thought the question was, is Crescent City 2 steamier?
Oh, maybe it's Crescent City 2. Maybe I didn't put the 2 down. I just put City 2.
Let's see.
Equal scene.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of all the like dirty things happen in both. Like,
did you have to cut any threesome scenes out of Crescent
no.
City 2?
So wait.
I didn't have to cut. I didn't have to cut any threesome scenes from Crescent City 2
because you left the threesome scenes in Crescent City 2. Give me a second, I was gonna get there.
Yes.
Are you tallying up how many dirty scenes are in each?
Yes, I am.
Is that
like
going on in your brain?
Yeah.
I can't do math, so I don't know how she's tallying them.
No, I'm just like comparing like blowjob for a blowjob.
Tell Linda to mute it for a second.
Mom's gonna. You just embarrassed me.
What? Your mom's gonna be first in line to read this book now?
gonna like highlight passages and show up. I have a question. So okay.
Not that your mom loves the
without stacking it, so like if it were like a quick fire question, which do you think would be considered to be?
I just mom is texting us saying, okay. She's the first in line, okay.
So would you say
BJ to read the book?
It's getting weird, Josh. It's getting weird.
My mom says she likes a good blowjob. I don't need to know that.
Let's rewind it so that I can get some brain bleach. Get some brain bleach and some ear bleach after that. Yes, so quick fires. Crescent City 2 or ACOSF. Which do you think would be steamier?
Right now I'd say yes. I mean, like right now I'm thinking about
cheating.
No, I think I would say ACOSF in terms of like bodily fluids being.
I wasn't ready for that. Ernie's looking at me like, "Are you dying? Are you dying?" I'm okay.
Yeah, let's say
Okay.
I think ACOSF. Yes. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm still editing Crescent City too, so
so there's still time.
There's time to add a lot more fluids.
Especially if we talk more about mermaid penis.
Yeah.
Listen,
Every night.
That
every
has
night.
to be like, even if Therian isn't having sex in Crescent City 2, like I think that still needs to be addressed.
I mean,
We
Therian
need to
definitely,
know.
Therian definitely talks about fucking. So
does he send dirty notes with the otters, like through the otter mail?
I will confirm and deny. There are otters in the book. The otters make an appearance, not to pass smutty notes necessarily, but yeah. Every time they show up, I'm so excited. I love the otters. They're my favorite part.
Let me just give you guys an update though. I've lost all my room on the couch. My legs my legs are all the way over here, and Sarah's legs are here. So that's
my legs are right here. Here's my knee.
the whole.
And Annie's
Josh
wedged
is, like,
herself.
trying-
Annie's wedged herself between us. So.
Oh well, that's why then.
So like the girls are pushing him.
Slowly get out of the
No,
conversation.
I think he's just sliding across the leather. Like it's so silly, just pushing him. You can be in the front. Take up
Where
space.
am I gonna go?
Take up space.
All right.
Okay, here's a question that you can answer without it being spoiled. Well, I don't know. Will we find out what was in the box that Cassian threw in the river?
Yes, you will.
Are we going to be heartbroken? That's a Stephanie question adding on to this question.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, as in, like, because in my... Okay, so do you want to know my theory?
Okay.
Well, it's I can't lay claim to it because someone else said it, but Ava and I both think that it's a great theory that it was a siphon in the box. I was waiting to see what the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, what's a siphon?
Is that what it's called? Maybe I said it wrong. Ava, text me. Listen, pause. Before I did this live, I did another live, and I was drinking on that too. So I'm already
Were
five
your
cans
leftovers for the night?
No.
Wait, you didn't.
She cheated on us
I
with
did
another
that
live.
For a second. You've done 2 of these?
This is my second one. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Fine.
Thank
I gave you guys the primetime slot.
Thanks.
Thanks. I didn't get.
Fit it in.
Hey!
It's her
Okay, so-
birthday. You can't be
I know,
mean to
I
her.
know.
It's her birthday.
So, please. So what I mean to say is, like, is it something sentimental, or like, I guess you can't say that without it being spoilery, but like, that's what I mean as far as like heartbreaking. Because like, I think as the reader, if we were to read that, like, he had spent a lot of time on something, like if he made her handmade like arts and crafts.
It's something that he spent it's not just like some like piece of crap jewelry.
Right.
Thing.
Like he didn't just go to like a store and was like, oh.
It's something that he spent a lot of time thinking about and tracking down, and that it's a gift that he knows she
would have
loved, and was something very precious. And
it's not a siphon because Sarah doesn't know what that is.
No.
Right. No, I know. And now I'm like, where is my brain? But so then what if we had a crossover and then Darian like swam up the river and found the box and then brought it back after Cassian had thrown it? Can we do that? Is it too late?
I will confirm.
Well, wait a minute. So like, I know that you've said in the past that like Throne of Glass and the ACOSF series they're not necessarily connected, but obviously, because I mean, we saw in Kingdom of Ash. But will Crescent City? Do you think Crescent City is like connected in some way, like universe?
Yep. Well, so at the end of Kingdom of Ash, Aelin actually falls through the Crescent City world.
Oh, what?
So,
now I gotta go back and reread it?
Yeah. So like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like, she passes by like a city that's like full of like towering buildings or something like that. And don't quote me on that line, but that's Crescent City.
Sarah?
Yeah. So yeah. I thought people knew.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. So she sees Feyre and Rhys, and then she
You're not as big of a fan as you thought.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I am deeply disappointed.
First of all, Crescent City, House of the Blood was not out yet.
No, but
So,
the careful reader would have noticed.
Maybe I was still traumatized over Gavriel. I won't spoil anything, but maybe. I think that was when I put the book in the freezer, like for a second. So now I'm gonna have to go back and I'm making a note. I need to go back.
It's literally like a
it's that
little
scene,
part,
like that whole moment.
Yeah, it's like literally like it's like, you know, she passed by a world of oceans and then a world full of towering buildings or whatever, and that's the Crescent City.
Well, I do.
Wait, I want to go. You know what? Let me go get the book. Let me go get.
Well, I will say that there are people in the comments. It's mixed. Some people were like, "Oh, I knew," and then some people are like, "What?" and then someone else said, "I noticed it when I reread it." Mm-hmm. See?
I'm taking my space here.
Okay. Okay, let's see. This is a really long book. I apologize.
Well, and then while you're looking, somebody had asked this in the comments, and I think this was also a question that came up. We know from that same scene that you're reading from, or that you're looking for, that Feyre is pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So do we get some of that in ACOSF?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. You tease. Okay. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, Ernie, you were such a baby.
Here it is. Page 800.
What Sarah's reading.
Annie.
She passed through a world where a great city had been built along the curve of a river, the buildings impossibly tall and glimmering with lights. That's Crescent City. See, if you read it, you would know that Crescent City was along the curve of the river.
Listen, I mean, obviously. Okay. Listen, I was too busy having blue balls to notice anything about the buildings in Crescent City, okay? So
Rude. Okay. Rude.
Okay, note to self, because that is a question. I swear to God, like when Ava and I do the Mass-tastic episodes, that's a question that comes up multiple times every time. That people are
Really?
like, that people are asking, like, do you think that these worlds are connected? Do you think that da 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 da? And I'm like, oh, I don't think so. But
They're
clearly.
all like, it's all like one. You could like walk through a word gate and like go into ACOTAR world from Throne of Glass world.
Will you ever do that again?
I don't know. It'd
You
be
think?
very complex. Though I
mean-
cried when Aelin went through all the worlds, because I was like, even like when she saw like Rhys and Feyre, I like burst out crying because I just was like, my two like
Your baby.
yeah. There's actually that this might be like a little tiny bit. No, I'm not gonna say it. No, I'm not gonna say it. It would be a spoiler. I can't say it.
Good thing.
Fine.
Good
Fine.
thing you didn't drink tonight.
Good thing I didn't drink tonight, because I
Right.
would have said something. I guess you are kind of like being pushed to sleep.
I'm
You should
so-
see his leg. His legs are like
I didn't know my back could
like-
twist like
it's
It's
a pretzel.
Annie. Oh, okay. So here's a question about Nesta, because I also love her. If Nesta were alive in today's America, how would she react to the current state of things?
I think she would be going around and making citizens arrests of those terrorists who stormed the Capitol.
Single-handedly. She would have been that one Capitol officer that like held off the mob on the staircase.
Oh, yes, exactly.
Who would have joined those mobs?
From the
King
book.
the King of Hybern
Yes.
would have been leading. Steph, I mean, you said you got a question about like whether like the King of Hybern was based off of Trump, and like yeah, like there was. I mean, like not like physically, but like
Right.
Yeah, his hair
yes,
is kind of-
the King of Hybern has like that like head
like a weird
swirl.
swoop.
No, it was like it was so long ago that I wrote it, but it was definitely like inspired by my disgust and horror at the rise of Trump and his
Well, and I just think
believers.
I feel like when I came over, like I came up after the election, because I feel like we were like, let's wallow in our sadness together, and that was when you guys were living at the other house, and we went up to go get ice cream and stuff. And I remember you talking about it when we were having ice cream, like you're like, I'm actually writing something, and I guess I just didn't connect it at the time, so that would have made sense. That like that you were like, oh, it's ironic that it's like kind of mirroring
Yeah, what's
the situation that we were going through.
Yeah.
all I remember is the ice. I don't even remember that. Remember the
A
ice
wow cow.
cream.
The
Oh wow,
best, the best ice cream place in America.
Yeah.
A wow cow.
Oh wow, cow.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Who? Okay, wait. No, I asked that question already. Will we see more High Lords in ACOSF?
Some might make an appearance.
Alien.
He might make an appearance.
Is he naked?
He wants to be.
Well,
Would you say every man wants to be naked? Or...
No.
I mean, well, he's a nympho though.
I love him. I love him. But you might see some other ones.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Okay. Fae or Shifter? Which would you be and why?
Is this a Crescent City?
It didn't have a book attached to it. So I'm assuming overall.
Why does it matter which one?
Well, I mean, Crescent City,
Yeah.
there's the Fae and then the Shifters, but then like in Throne of Glass, there's like the Fae, and then like Lysandra's a shapeshifter who can change into anything.
Like anything. Not
But
just
the shifters
like, yeah,
in Crescent City can only shift into like one
Oh
thing.
right.
I think I'd want to be a shifter. Like, I don't know. Like,
shifter.
I mean, like,
where?
in,
like a
in
shift,
Crescent
right?
City.
Which world? In Crescent City, okay.
In Crescent
So
City,
you'd
I
only
think
be able to shift into.
one.
An
I think
otter.
an otter. I would be an otter shifter. Yes, I would destroy my enemies with my cuteness. That's
That's your power.
my power. What would you shift into? What animal would you shift into?
polar bear.
What? As, you've never once mentioned polar bears in the entire 15
The
years
first
I've
thing
known
that
you.
came in my mind.
Why?
Why would I? I don't. I think my
You want to
mom.
be extinct? Oh my god.
Yeah, you want to drown in the ocean?
I think my mom showed a picture of a polar bear to Taryn today. So I.
Oh, okay.
Or a panda.
So you just basically want to eat bamboo all day
Yeah.
and make really cute babies. Like that's
Yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
it looks kind of nice to just. They seem kind of
I just laser the day away.
peacefully chill out.
What would you be, Steph?
I think I would be a Fae because Rowan.
Okay. But if you were a shifter, what animal would you shift into?
Probably something with big teeth. So
I thought you were going to say tits.
no,
You started with the teeth.
Unfortunately.
That's where my brain went.
Wait, why? Wait, you have to.
I would want to be like a predator, like a predatory, like ferocious animal. Probably like a lion,
I could see that.
or a tiger, or a cheetah, or something. Just to rip into people.
What about a
I think that'd
liger?
be fun.
Would you be
A
a liger?
liger would be fun.
Napoleon
Yes.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Do you know? Here's a random bit of trivia about me. I was once at this convention in Australia many years ago, and it was Supernova in Australia, and all the talent gets to hang out, all the guests of the convention. So it's kind of weird because it's writers and then big celebrities all hanging out in the green room, and then there's a VIP party. But the person I was the most excited about being there at the same time as me and hanging out in the green room with was Napoleon Dynamite, the guy who played Napoleon Dynamite.
That's kind of awesome.
And he was really nice and funny, but then the highlight of my entire trip to Australia was at the VIP
And your
party.
life.
And my life, possibly. At the VIP party, the DJ put on that Jamiroquai song, Canned Heat.
Oh,
And
did you do the dance?
And he reenacted the whole dance for us. And I didn't
that's
want to.
pretty
I didn't want to videotape it because I didn't want to him to think that I was exploiting him or something. But I was crying with joy to the point where I went into the bathroom afterwards and I literally had my mascara down my face. But it was the coolest thing.
Wasn't there a rumor that Jamiroquai was at the Capitol? Did you hear that?
What?
I heard
No.
that. I heard that.
They were
I
playing
That's a
it,
Drudge
or that
Report
he,
story.
I know,
don't think it was real.
where do you get your? That's fake news.
No,
That
I-
is actually fake
I
news.
swear I heard it on CNN or something. I'm telling you. He wasn't there, but
Okay, whatever.
Oh, we have all these texts from editors.
Uh-oh.
Noah said there is no Target edition. There's a Barnes
Okay.
& Noble and a Books A Million edition.
Okay.
Barnes & Noble is Feyre and Reese, and Books A Million is Asriel. Thank you, Noah. I'm so sorry.
Maybe we should have had a Target edition.
Oh, and
How about that?
okay. Oh, and then my friend Jen said Waterstones, Indigo, and Barnes & Noble are Feyre and Reese. Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Waterstones and Indigo. Okay. So lots of face sand to go around. And then I have 40 texts from Josh's mother.
About penis. Okay, here's another question that is a selfish question. How much Lucian do we get in Silver Flames? Do we get some, enough, more?
You see what he's up to.
Okay.
He makes a couple appearances. Yes, that's.
I don't know
Okay.
why you ask these questions.
You know I can't. You know I can't.
Well, I mean, you don't have to tell. You don't have to say everything. I mean, you could just have been like yes, and then leave it to our
Yeah.
imagination.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Very important. Okay. Do you base any of your characters, or have you ever based any of your characters on people that you know in real life?
I mean, aside from the King of Highburn,
Right.
Donald Trump, not really. I'm trying to think if there was. Not really. I know Josh is sitting here right now, wishing that I would say that Reese was inspired by him.
Well, I think
Too
that
much.
the fandom thinks that Reese was inspired by Josh. So
No.
He's got the
No.
same birthday as me.
Okay, I gave him the same birthday as you as a gift to you to make you happy.
can
Like,
whoever ends up with Azriel, can they have my birthday?
okay. Okay.
Thanks. And then I'll pretend that whoever he ends up with is based off of me.
I'm writing it down right now, so I don't look like I'm just like full of shit. Here, let's see.
Oh.
You're gonna have to pay up for this, by the way. It's
Yeah.
gonna cost you.
It's fine. I'm willing to pay with my life.
Okay.
Here's another.
Give the cereal.
First of all, I said in
I'm scared. I'm scared to write the actual things. I don't want him to like read
She
it.
actually typed that. I don't know what.
I want. Speaking of the cereal, I actually said in a Maastastic episode, because somebody had asked who is the most underrated Sarah J. Maas character, and I said it was a cereal because I'm like he was just trying to live his life, and everybody just kept bothering him to answer questions. Like, can he just live? Like, fuck. Like, everybody in his face. Like, oh, tell me the answer to this. Like, he just wants to live his life. I love that guy. Okay. This is a question from Ashley. Will we be proud of Nesta's growth in A Court of Silver Flames?
I think so. I'm really proud of it. Her journey in this book meant a lot to me. Like perhaps more than like any other character I've written. And she's someone who starts off the book in such a dark, broken, jagged place where she's hurting and she is hurting other people and she's just like a hot mess. Like, you know, she's beyond imploded at that point. Like she is like whatever is after implode, like, you know, she's the bottom of that. And her journey, without spoiling things, her journey from that place to the person that she becomes by the end. I mean, it just, like, it sounds like so cheesy to be like, it was an honor to write it, but like, it was something that just, it meant so much to me, and to get to explore all of that, and like not sugarcoat things and just tell her story like authentically, at least the way it came to me and the way she wanted it to be told. Like it was like one of my most favorite like writing journeys that I've had. And I mean, she earns the ending. I think, like, you know, she doesn't get it, like things don't come easily to her. She has to fight every step of the way. And yeah, so I'm very proud of like the person that she becomes, like by the end, like the person that she is at the end of the book. And I'm just very proud of that. And yeah, it's so hard to talk about it without spoiling things.
I mean, but obviously, I think that it's. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, it goes without saying, because obviously, her journey, like her whole journey, is in this book, because it ends with. I mean, just this particular book, as each one is a standalone. So I don't think that it's. I mean, I think it goes without saying that obviously, she gets some kind of happily ever after.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I have enough books out so that you guys know. Like, I don't enjoy reading books with like depressing endings where like like everyone's dead, or it's like a bittersweet thing where, like, you know, the romantic couple has decided to go their separate ways.
Right.
And, like I can appreciate those stories like for their literary merit, but are they ones I'd like to reread again and again? No. I love happily ever afters. I like thrive on them, and I think anyone picking up my books will know that like there is a happy ending, but my characters will have to like work hard and occasionally suffer greatly.
Occasionally. We've read enough of your books. Occasionally. Poor Nesta's been suffering since day one.
And she's still got a little more suffering to go.
It's okay. The payoff is just that much better when she's gone through that much suffering. So here's a quick non-book question that someone had asked. Is there anything that you fangirl or fan guy, Josh, over that you want more people to be a part of or more people to enjoy?
Like, what's your number one fandom right now?
Oh, well, we are. I got a lot of things.
Were you listening?
I'm thinking of what my answer is.
Okay.
I haven't spoken in a while, so I need to have.
Why is that like a passive aggressive thing, right? That's like the most passive.
You haven't asked my opinion for like 30 minutes. So.
No, it's cool.
All right, take your like contorted body right now. Just slide down the. We're once again back in this position where I extend.
Annie is here.
Just hold on to him, Sarah.
I'm to here, Annie's here, and then Josh's whole body is like.
But what is it? A fandom that I'm into right now?
Or like
you want more people to be into.
Something that excites you, that you want more, that you wish more people were also excited about. Suvi.
We are I've got two. Right now, we're re-watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh,
You don't like it?
not enough to watch it twice.
What?
Like,
It's the funniest shit.
It
Like,
was funny, and it was funny the first time, but like I think that I'm in a different headspace.
now that we're adults and we have to deal with so much nonsense stuff, like
It's funnier now.
you gotta watch. It's the funniest
Okay.
shit. Like
Okay.
I'm like crying. Like I was the same as you. The first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's funny. Watching this again as a cynical, like bitter-hearted person, it's so funny.
It's awesome.
Okay, all right.
But then a close second.
Don't say Seinfeld. Don't say Seinfeld.
No, why would I ever
Okay.
say that? I do love
I don't-
Seinfeld, but
I know. That's why.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, that's what
And
we do
I
in
had
the
a feeling
shadows.
Sarah was gonna say
Yes, you took it from.
Scared for a
The
hot second because I didn't realize you were talking about a TV show.
the TV show.
I was like, what do you guys do in the shadows? I don't know if I
All
wanna know.
kinds
I
of
thought you were
kinky
talking about
stuff.
what is that? It's a show? Though?
Steph, you have
Get
to
ready.
watch this show. Okay, let me
Where is
explain
it? What
this
is
show.
it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Hulu,
Well, it's
okay.
technically on FX, but you can watch the first 2 seasons on Hulu. And you're a fan of the paranormal. You know your way around a vampire. And so this is a mockumentary series following a group of vampires living in modern day New York. But the
OMG.
problem is that 200 years ago, when they crossed from the old country to conquer the new world, the boat dropped them off in Staten Island, and they have stayed
Oh, bless.
in Staten Island.
Basically done nothing.
They were given a missive to conquer the new world, but they got distracted by things like, the USA Dream Team with Michael Jordan. And so, like, if you are a fan of like vampire lore and like paranormal like stuff, like just the way they take all of that and like make it so funny, like it's the best. I watch it probably like every other. I've watched the first 2 seasons at this point.
Like 5 times.
I was gonna say
Maybe
around
12.
like probably around like 10 to 12 times all the way through. Like it's the funniest show I've ever seen, and it gets funnier each time you watch
And there's
it.
cursing and stuff. It's
Bless. Okay.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah,
you have to
but
say.
it's just like
Okay.
like vampire.
I wrote it down.
Humor. And it's actually based off of a movie that came out that was directed by Taika Waititi. Years and Jermaine Clement.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
So like this doesn't star those characters from the movie, but it's like set in that same world, and it's just the best, the funniest show. It's like my new comfort show.
Definitely going
Great
to
show.
watch that.
You please watch it because I need more people in my life watch. I've been trying to get like my parents to watch it, like they won't. We made Josh's mom watch
She
the
didn't
first
get She
episode.
didn't get it.
Yeah, she didn't.
She's like, what the hell are you guys
She's like,
watching?
this show is dumb. Like,
What's yours? What's yours? Bridgerton?
no, everyone in the
No,
world
because
loves
everybody's
Bridgerton.
in that.
Oh, yeah, true.
No, ironically, it's Flight of the Conchords is
Yes!
like a huge thing
Yeah,
that
so
I
if you
still
like
to
Yeah,
that-
so
this
if you like Flight of
day.
the Conchords, then this is the
Yeah.
same group of guys.
No, I know. That's why I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay. I know exactly who these people are. I'm like, yeah, okay. How did I not know about this? And maybe I did, and I just didn't like make
Did
the
you watch-
connection.
Is this the first time you're watching Flight of the Conchords? Or you
Oh no! I
No.
watched it back when it was first originally
Well,
out.
you
Like,
okay, yeah, I realize. Okay, sorry. Like he's not in on our text.
right.
Okay, back here.
Well, I mean, and I also like I own all of like their albums and like
Yeah.
We went to their concert
At the Man
at the Man Center a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was so good. They're like that kind of humor is like my kind of humor, like a little
Jermaine's my
weird.
favorite.
Wait, did
no.
we see them in Orange County too? California? Remember we went to that like
Comedy thing.
comedy thing? Didn't they perform there? Or am I making that up?
I think you're making. I don't
Is that
remember.
right? I think they did.
I don't
Anyway.
remember.
What about you, Sarah? What's your thing that you?
Didn't you just say it?
Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. Is
Oh, that was yours. I thought that was your second one.
It was my
No.
second, but she agreed.
his
Oh,
second,
okay.
my first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Sarah was gonna say like K-pop or something.
No,
So
I mean
a lot of
like,
people are into that.
like the entire world,
Right.
except for like a lot of America, but like
What else we got?
Okay. This is actually the last one that I wrote down.
okay.
And of course I lost it. We got to jeez, I have a lot on my papers. And I was also making notes as you were talking. We asked about the steaminess. Do we need to read ACOTAR before Silver Flame?
I would say yes. I think that so much of mostly Nesta's journey is tangled up in the events of the past that like I think you could probably read it without like having read all the other ones, but I think it would have the most impact emotionally if you
Knowing where she's coming from,
what she's been through, but then also seeing it from Feyre's perspective and then getting a lot of those events from Nesta's perspective, like in retrospect, like how she felt during a lot of that. So yes, I feel like I should say no, you can pick it up and read, but I like to be like straight up with you guys. Like I think
You could try, right?
Well, but I think that it's going to spoil a little bit though, because I mean, there are all these characters, and I'm sure that there are things referenced, right? Like from
yeah. I mean, and I think most of the things that are referenced from the past get explained enough that if you haven't read them, you can like piece it together. But I think just to get the full scope of like how much she has hurt some of the people in her life, like it's like you need to like go back to like the beginning. So sorry guys if you haven't read it's a lot of reading material.
Well, I will say that going back, because we're doing a reread right now of the series, and going back and reading like the first book, ACOTAR, and experiencing Nesta in that book, it is also very like now kind of understanding what she goes through in the other books now, like going back and revisiting baby Nesta, if you will, like I'm just like, oh, it doesn't come off as abrasive, I guess, if that makes sense. So I'm just like, oh, sweetie, I get it. Like it's fine.
But I also
like I didn't okay.
Like I didn't want to write her, like I wanted to write her character like so that like I didn't want to make her like a nice sweet little person. Like I wanted her to be someone with hard edges and like a past that wasn't like easily swept under the carpet. Like she's done things and hurt people in a way that like trust me, like she knows, like she knows like everything she's done, and she there's I never wanted to like make her like an easily likable character. Like I like characters that aren't necessarily likable, and who make bad choices sometimes, but can then look back on them and like
What's Reese da Silva mean?
I don't. We just got a text
These
from your mom. Your Josh's mom says happy birthday, and she's going to
thanks,
bed.
Landon. Okay, night night.
Night night, Ganny.
No, so in the comments, it's been a common question that everybody's trying to guess what Reese's last name is.
His Wasserman.
Yeah, Reese is a Jew from the main line.
Right, exactly.
Apparently.
Oh,
Reese Wasserman.
Does he have a last name? I mean,
No, I mean,
does he?
I will confirm and deny.
I mean, I don't know why it's important, to be perfectly honest. I mean, because to me, he's just Reese or Reese and like so.
It's like,
I mean, like, what about like,
Madonna?
yeah, like Madonna, Cher,
Right.
Beyonce, like.
Well, I guess because
Adele.
in Throne of Glass had like like they have like their like full like God-given birth names. It's like
and this is just Reese.
Like 75 names, and then you right here.
Is Gaga
Rowan
Lady
White
Gaga's
or-
last name?
Yes, her
Lady Gaga's last name is Gaga.
Oh, she has an Italian last name. No,
Yeah.
she has
I'm
an
just
Italian
joking.
last name.
That was a dumb
Oh.
joke.
It was a dumb joke.
That was a dad
Dad
joke. That was a really.
Okay, so I think that I got through all of our questions from before,
Yeah,
and
that's
there was a request
Good job.
that Sarah and I do a live in future about our crystal.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Here we go.
Oh, what you got? Did your special unicorn come?
Oh no. Let me show you what came. Actually, I meant to send you a picture of this today. My the birthday.
Your birthday candle.
Yeah, March 5th. It smells so good.
What is it? What is the scent?
The scent is jasmine, cedarwood, and thyme. And what's funny is jasmine.
Froze on. Okay. Jasmine. What?
Okay, jasmine is one of my favorite scents, but I would not have pegged cedarwood and thyme, but it smells so good. But for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, these are candles that like the scents are like picked for your birthday. And then I got my birth date.
Your book? Yeah.
My book. And it's so beautiful. And I won't show you guys this, but you can like have your own dedication in here. And the dedication that I put in here is actually ACOSF related. It's like Nesta's motto, I guess. But it's also become like my motto. But it's like all like the pages are so beautiful. It's like all about your birth date and like when you were born and like blah blah blah. I love it.
We'll have to compare. We'll have to compare ours.
Yeah,
I got mine too. Mine arrived this week.
What's the cost of a thing?
Doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter,
Josh.
It doesn't matter. I work hard. I can buy this. These are the and then so again I've been like working in here, so I had to bring like a little bowl of like crystals in here with me. But these are this is a
question somebody had asked what crystals you keep by you while you're working.
Yeah, so I have like my whole altar like in the other room that's like covered. I've got a lot of like rose quartz. I've got some like really like interesting ones that I love. But I was like I try to intuitively select which crystals I'm feeling on a given day. So today I really was like channeling like carnelian hearts and blue lace agate.
Ooh.
And
no, I mean, but it's cute.
And then I've got this blue tiger's eye. It's like called.
Oh, it doesn't look blue over here.
Yeah, it's
it looks
called like
black.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, I mean, it looks black, but it's like it's actually called like hawk's eye.
Ooh.
And then
like Rowan.
This was like an extra thing that came with something. It's just I don't know. I was like, oh, it's dark like my soul.
It's like an
and then this is angel light, which I don't.
That's pretty.
Yeah. And then this is like a carnelian like offering bowl that I really like. But anyway, I keep that's what I was feeling today. I love crystals. They make me happy. They make Josh miserable. So win-win situation.
What do you mean? It's like they literally. So she keeps these crystals out there,
Let's hear this.
There are like a million of them. Taryn goes for them. He runs off with them. And
This is this is Taryn's favorite, actually. The heart.
And then it's my
Oh,
job
yeah.
to find out where he puts them around the house.
At least he doesn't eat them.
No.
That we know of.
No,
Yeah, he doesn't.
no, but he calls them katsus. He can't pronounce crystals, so they're katsus. It's so sweet. That's very sweet.
It's sweet.
But Josh hates them.
We just
Josh is like, but for
500 people just logged off during your show.
Good. If you're not
Haters
into crystals,
gonna hate.
get out of here.
I'm ready for bed now. I'm happy.
All right, okay, Josh. God, you are on your period.
See?
You're men's.
It says menzies.
Well, I did my job. I asked the questions that I needed to ask, and then I'll ask the other questions that you would get in trouble for off camera. My personal question. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
Thanks
spending.
fitting us in.
No.
Yeah.
Rude.
Thank you for spending
Happy
your birthday with
Yeah.
us.
I mean, I'm poor. I'm at home, so whatever.
I know, but you look luminous and
Yeah.
just
Thanks.
gorgeous.
It's the ring light.
we're using ours for the first time.
I'm so
I feel
proud.
like such a
No, it's definitely not the ring. You did something special.
yeah. I mean, your makeup's beautiful. Your eye makeup
thanks.
especially is like
Yeah.
Thanks.
stunning. But yeah, the ring light, I'm like scared of it. Like it's so bright.
At least it's not a glass that you guys are using to prop up your.
No, well after that
Yeah.
was the incident.
This is way better, this ring light.
Yeah.
And we're never going back.
No, I mean, you guys are very clear and crisp
Yeah,
in the image now.
good.
All right. Well,
Nice.
we
Okay,
love
do you know how to log it off?
No, I was just
Do you need help?
Do I hit the X at
So
the
you'll
top?
hit the end, and then it'll ask you if you want to save it to your profile
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
so that people can watch it after. And that's all you have to do. So
Okay.
is there a red end button at the top, or is it an
No,
X?
it's just an X. Stop.
Okay, so
If
you'll
we
hit-
get cut off, it says this.
Okay, so you'll hit the X, and then it'll give you all these options.
Okay.
If not, I had somebody screen grab this just in case you accidentally did it. So you could repost it. Okay. Okay, love you.
Okay, I
All
love
right,
you.
good luck.
Happy birthday. Thank you for
Thank
doing this.
you.
We love you.
Love you. Bye. Okay, good
Bye.
luck. Good
But
luck.
yeah, thank you everyone for listening.
Oh yeah. Bye.
Yeah. And bye, Ernie. We love you.
Oh, he's gone.
And when's the book come out again?
She's gone. ACOSF is coming out February 16th. It's coming out soon. All right. Bye, guys. We love you. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night. And yay, Biden. Bye.